I shall now make a statement in my capacity as a representative of the Russian Federation. We are grateful to the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Ms. Helen Lalim, for her briefing on the situation of the country and the work that is being done by the United Nations Integrated Office in Haiti. The tensions in Haiti, which continues for many months, gives rise to the most serious concerns. And the main reason for the instability is a lack of progress in internal dialogue amongst the political forces and the society. And this resulted in a virtual paralysis of the legislature. And this, in turn, impacted the capacity of the government to effectively deal with urgent everyday tasks and with its capacity, first and foremost, to ensure people's safety. As a result of that, criminals have become more active, and this is all compounded by the coronavirus pandemic. Its second wave in the very near future will launch yet a new challenge to the healthcare system. And you can imagine what the healthcare system is, given the lamentable economic situation of the country. The Secretary General's report is something that creates a dual impression in us. On the one hand, it contains assessments which leave no doubt that there is a need to extend the UN mission to ensure that there is continued international support at this difficult period for the country. On the other hand, it is obvious that the key objective to facilitate a national dialogue remains unattained. The Haitians, therefore, run the risk of coming up with unilateral solutions and decisions, and this can only increase, as we all know, the risk of escalation. We can see that the proposal to overcome the crisis through changing the constitution received a mixed reaction, including amongst the judiciary. And it is indicative here that the Supreme Court of Haiti declined to swear in the members of the Provisional Electoral Council. The society is divided. But there are those who think that time is ripe to change the constitution, and if this is what the Haitians decide, then the UN has always advocated complying with existing laws regardless of the country in question. And all of this, of course, in the internal affair of the Haitians themselves, that they need to come to the negotiating table and overcome their differences. We therefore do understand those in Haiti who resented the statement made by the U.S. State Department representative, who threatened consequences to those who were in disagreement with the American notion of democracy. For some reason, it is considered to be perfectly fine in the United States to insist on in elections in one country, in another country to demand that politicians ignore elections and demand resignation of legitimately selected heads of state. Given such double standards, it's no surprise that the number of crises in the world is going up, despite the UN attempts to resolve them. Given the complex of issues in Haiti, they need to be resolved urgently, starting with the main one, the political stabilization. And this is only possible provided there is dialogue on the basis of existing laws. This should lead to elections and greater trust and support from the population at large. If this doesn't happen, then the country runs the risk of reverting to the darkest pages of its history, and in that case, recovery and development will be pushed back for many years. We call upon the Haitians to engage in internal dialogue in order to find the way out of the crisis, and the UN mission should help in this regard. Port-au-Prince needs to have responsible international assistance to make sure that there is no further societal division, to make sure that the situation does not become a region-wide humanitarian crisis. Russia, as a Security Council member, will continue working towards an outcome where international assistance by the UN results in true normalization of the situation in Haiti and will result in its strengthening of its sovereignty and its self-sufficiency. I now resume my function as President